Hello and welcome to my new garage. Happy New Year, happy 2022 everybody. I am celebrating the new year by winter sowing some stuff. You can kind of see all my milk jugs over here. I am going to be starting all of these seeds in these milk jugs today. I'm super excited. This is my second year doing winter sowing, and I did it last year. Absolutely loved it. I was so happy with the results. Everything came out wonderfully in the spring, and I really got a jump start on all my early spring crops. So I'm definitely doing it again this year. I'm gonna try some new stuff this year for winter sowing, and we're gonna see how it goes. I have all of my jugs ready to go. They are cut, they have dirt in them. I have one more here that I still need to convert to a winter sowing jug, and I'm gonna kind of show you how to do that. I do have another video that I did last year about winter sowing. I'll put a link to that down below, and that one kind of goes a little bit more in depth on how to do all of this. But basically, you take an empty jug of some sort. This was a gallon of water. And you basically just take your drill. I mean, I use a drill. You can use a nail or just a knife, but I just use my drill because it's super easy. So basically you're just gonna drill holes in the bottom of the jug, and you're not gonna be able to see that, but there's a hole in the bottom. Go all the way around as many drainage holes as you think it needs, just to make sure that the seeds don't get waterlogged. So in this jug, I drilled 5 holes at the bottom. You might be able to see them, I don't know. I drilled 5 holes in the bottom. This will be enough for a gallon like this. In the bigger gallon size milk jugs that are a little bit bigger on the bottom, I think I did 6 or 7, but just enough to make sure that your seeds aren't getting waterlogged. And then all I'm gonna do is take this box cutter and cut it kind of in the middle, but I'm not gonna cut it all the way around. I'm gonna cut it but leave one corner attached, so that way I can easily open it and then close it back up. And now all I'm gonna do is fill it up with soil. So I have down here on the floor, I don't know if you can see this pink bucket. This is my dirt bucket. So in here, I took Pro Mix, which is my potting soil of choice, and I mix it with water just to get the soil a little bit wet. You don't want it soaking wet. You just want it to barely hold together if you take a handful of it and squeeze it. So basically you just want the soil to be mildly moist. That's a good term to describe it. You want to be able to pick it up, grab it by your hand, and it stick together kind of like that. Like that. You don't want it to fall right back apart, but you don't want to be able to wring water out of it. So that's something to keep in mind. You want your soil to be moist but not sopping wet when you do this. And that's just to give your seeds a jump start of some moist soil, and also just to keep your soil from getting hydrophobic as well. So I have my jugs already labeled over here, and they are all, I have them in these 10-20 trays. And mainly I have them in these trays just because they're easier to move around like this. It's easier to move them around in large batches versus moving each jug individually, especially when they're cut in half. Okay, so I'm gonna start in this jug. I apologize, the lighting out here is terrible. I need to figure that out. I was gonna do this outside, but it's raining. So I already have these labeled. This one says Butter Crunch on it, so it's gonna have Butter Crunch lettuce. So I'm gonna take my Butter Crunch lettuce seeds, open up my seed pack, and basically my rule of thumb for winter sowing is count on half of your seeds to not do anything and just not germinate. So I am gonna do, this is a gallon jug. Ooh, that's way too much. I'm gonna do about this many seeds. This is a butter crunch lettuce, so these seeds are pretty tiny. But basically all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my seeds, I'm gonna sprinkle them over the top of the soil. And that one is done. Stuff like lettuce is really easy to winter sow because all you have to do is just sprinkle the seeds over the top. And then, I mean, I might go in here and kind of press them in and just kind of make the soil more even. Done, planted. Close it up. Now when I'm done with these, I will tape them closed. I usually just use duct tape. But for now, this is how I'm gonna know they're done, is if the lid is closed. The next one is Nero Toscana kale. Nero Toscano kale is like my favorite type of kale. I think I've decided. I just really like it. It has like a really nice bite to it, but it's not too kale-y. Does that make sense? And it really, I don't have very many of these left. So I have another pack, which is good. So basically all I'm gonna do is just kind of like even out the soil, sprinkle my seeds, which I didn't have very many. So I'm gonna open this other pack. And just do the same thing. So this is a really easy process. I mean, this is gonna take me, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes to do all this. And I'm gonna have so many plants out of this, it's gonna be awesome. And like I said, I do account for maybe like a 50% germination rate on these things. So I do tend to plant way more than I need in here. I probably don't need to do that, but I do it anyway just because I'd rather have too many plants than not enough. That's always my rule of thumb. Does it come back to bite me in the butt? Yes, but do I do it anyway? Also yes. So, and the way I seal my seed packs is I actually just use painter's tape. I'm just gonna steal this piece off of this empty packet, but I just take a tiny bit of painter's tape and tape them back down. And it just makes it so much easier to kind of keep them closed. Next is cilantro. So I'm using the Slow Bolt cilantro from Baker Creek. I used this last year and it did better here. My problem with cilantro is always that it bolts before I even have enough to use or to harvest. So the Slow Bolt variety does better in hotter climates, but I've also found that just planting it in the shade just works a lot better. I don't know why I never thought about that before, but like obviously planting it in the shade is going to work better if it's something that doesn't like the heat. So again, I'm doing a lot of these, and since cilantro is a little bit bigger of a seed, I am kind of pushing it into the soil and kind of burying it a little bit, just like a 1/4 of an inch, just like barely covered with soil, honestly. This one is chard. So I've never actually grown chard, but I love it in like salad mixes. So I got this apple blossom Swiss chard blend from Botanical Interest. This is a really big pack, and this is like baby chard, like you'd find in a box of spring mix or whatever. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. This was $3.99. It's 12 grams though, which is a lot. Oh, these are weird. I've never seen chard seeds. Huh. Interesting. So I'm gonna plant a whole bunch of these. That's probably way too many, but it's whatever. Get those in here. I don't have any painter's tape out here. This one I don't know what I'm putting in it, so I'm gonna leave that one for the last. Yeah. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna try to do some poppy seeds in this jug. These are the Shirley Double Mix Poppy from M.I. Gardner. Poppies are August's birth month flower, and that was the month I was born. So we are going to try to do these. I know that they like to be like cold. So we're gonna try to put them in here. I've read that you can do this. We're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it works, then I'm gonna have a whole bunch of flowers and that's gonna make me super happy. So I'm just gonna kind of flatten my soil out and then dump them on the top. Those are so tiny. I mean, they're literally poppy seeds, like poppy seed bagels. I don't eat those, but okay. So this container is done, or this tray. So this one has leeks. So we're also gonna do these prize taker leeks from Seed Savers. My brother actually got these for me for Christmas. Again, I don't know if you can winter sow these or not, but we're gonna try it. That's kind of my philosophy this year, is we're just gonna try a bunch of stuff and see what works. So I'm super excited for the new year. I'm really excited to see what 2022 has to offer, especially in terms of gardening. I have so many ideas for my new space, and I have so many cool things I'm going to be doing this year, and I'm super excited. I do some flat leaf parsley from Botanical Interests as well. I mentioned it briefly in my last video, but I was accepted into the Master Gardener program through the Purdue University Extension Office, which is the extension we have here in Indiana. And I'm so excited. It starts in February, like February 1st, I think, is the first class. We're also going to do some curly parsley, so we're just going to try some new stuff. My classes will be all virtual, which is really nice. So I can kind of, you know, eat dinner while I take my class, or I can, you know, do whatever. I can be at home while I do it. Okay, I have 2 jugs left. I have 4 packs of seeds. I don't know how to count, apparently. I'm gonna have to acquire some more jugs. Anyway, yeah, so some of the stuff's not gonna get planted, but that's okay. Oh, that's a lot. So yeah, I'm really excited about the Master Gardener program. Once I get my course materials, I will do a more in-depth video about the application process and that kind of thing. I should get those in the next couple weeks, I think. I get like a book and everything. So once I have that, I will do a more in-depth video about the program in terms of like applying for it and all of that. Now, it will vary because I'm in Indiana. If you're not in Indiana, it's gonna be different. Even if you're in a different county than me, it's probably gonna be different. So, but I will do a video more in depth about that once I get my materials. So here are all my jugs. The only thing I'm gonna do now is duct tape them closed, just around the middle. You wanna leave the lids off, so do not put the lids back on. That's how water gets in. And then I'm just gonna go stick these outside. I think I'm gonna stick them like in the front of the greenhouse maybe. I am gonna take them out of these trays and just put them on the ground. But yeah, I mean, this is 10 different things I just planted. And hopefully, if all goes well, I will have 10 different things coming up for some early spring growing. So, very excited. My very first seeds planted for 2022 on January 1st. Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you've been intimidated by winter sowing, don't be. It's easy. It's really easy. As always, if you have questions, feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.